All right, picture this. You're holding a $1 million printing press, but it's disguised as the phone in your pocket. Most agents let it collect lint in their pocket. The next guest, though, used that same little pocket printer to grow his mortgage business over 1,000% in 3 years. He turned six-figure income into a multiple of 7, and he's now been crowned a top video influencer, doing all this before breakfast, right? Here's why you don't want to skip this episode. He's cracked the code. Neel Dhingra didn't just get a few likes. He built Forward Academy, where he's teaching thousands of real estate pros the exact playbook that blew up his brand. He's proof introverts win on camera. I mean, the guy who says he was shy now collaborates with Gary Vee, and he packs out Vegas stages. This guy turns posts into profit, from hook problem solution scripts to algorithm o'clock posting windows. I'm telling you, Neel's tactics are so simple, a fifth grader or me or a sleep deprived realtor can hit record today, right now. So grab that phone/printing press and turn the volume up and stick around, because the next 45 minutes could add another zero to your bank account. Now let's go collaborate with Neel. All right, friends, from camera shy loan officer whispering, who'd even watch this, right? To, I mean, honestly, arguably the mortgage and real estate world's like must watch video mentor, at least for me and for probably 1,000 other people. Neel Dhingra turned imposter syndrome into industry influence. And friends, I'm honored to have him here for you, where he'll no doubt prove that you can also do what he's done. And here's my pledge to you. By the end of today's interview, you're going to have a crystal clear roadmap to start showing up on video with confidence, no fancy gear, no marketing degree, no more second guessing. You're going to walk away with plug and play simple posting strategies and proven tactics to turn those eyeballs into engagement, and then that engagement into actual clients. This isn't theory. This is like action that you can take today. So Neel, my friend, welcome to the show. Are you ready to collaborate with Cole?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Cole. I know, I've been looking forward to this one. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, man. Okay. So before we jump in, and I almost said this to you a while ago, but then I thought this might resonate with some of our friends. So I've had the pleasure of interviewing some powerhouse agents. I've had people like David Childers on from Keeping Current Matters, and Jimmy Burgess, just some like powerhouse people, right?
Yes.
I don't know why, but I'm like, I was more nervous before you jumped on for this interview than I was with any of those people that I've never even talked to in my life. And I feel like I've talked to you for like 2 years on and off. So this is kind of bizarre. That I was kind of
yeah, bro. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I think it's like, that's personal brand, obviously. Like, hey, what people say about you, how they feel about you when you're not in the room. What your reputation precedes you, and it's not ego or anything, but it's like, hey, what are some good things about you? Like, what do you stand for? What are your values? What do you teach? What do you find? How do you impact people? If more people know that about you, then you have more of a presence. And it is kind of cool, because why is it that some of these influencers, when they walk into a room, they've almost pre-sold the room? Meaning, like, you don't have to decide, do I trust this individual? Are they the true expert? Do you know them? Like, like the content in your brand has already done that work for you. And I think if everybody just like left the podcast now because they were busy, or like they didn't get anything else from this at all, it's like, what type of effect would that have on your business if people already knew the best things about you up front?
If you were pre-sold, yeah.
If you were pre-sold on working with them, what would happen to your business and just your connect rate and your conversion rate and all those things if people knew all these great things about you? And so I just have made an intentional effort over the last 6 years to make sure that I put these things out there in my content, my knowledge, my expertise, my personal life, like on a certain level, not all of it, but some of it. The things I value. I write something on Instagram stories every single day for the past several years, like these are things I value. And so people start to connect with that, and they build your community. And so I'd rather have, just a group of people that actually know you. So it's not, my goal is not to be well known, it's to be known well. You want to be known well by a certain number of people. If people know you, then they can flow you. Like, you can get more business, you can get more referrals, you get more, all the things that we want.
If they know you, they can flow you. I like that.
Yeah, I actually got that from Grant Cardone. He told me that during a podcast, and I was like, man, that stuck with me, because it's so true, right? Like, they know you. Like, you can get more business. Like, there's a reason why people refer you right now, because they know, like, and trust you. And there's
Right.
different reasons why. What if we just at a basic level started putting that out there on the internet in our content every week, 52 weeks a year? You'd be in a different place. That's the
Yeah,
bottom line.
for sure. All right. So that brings up a good point. Before we get into tactics and maybe how to do that, how to shorten that like gestation period of trust, right? Let's rewind the tapes and meet our friends listening right now, like where they are today, right now. And here's my question. So I'm sure you do. Do you remember like maybe one of your very first videos? And be honest here, were you like seeing you now? I would think, man, that dude just always crushed it. But were you like this one take wonder, or did you have like a full blown identity crisis halfway through the recording, like the rest of us? Because I feel like like the first time we record ourselves, or maybe the first times we record ourselves, it's like we almost forget how to be a freaking human, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what do I do with my hands now? Why do I sound weird? So what was it like for you when you did your first, several videos?
Yeah, I was not good. It's like it's literally cringe worthy. Like you have full body pain watching your old videos. That's how it was.
Yeah.
And even today, you said one take. Yeah, there's things I can hit in one take for sure. But many times when I'm shooting something intentional, I'm trying to get this message out, whether it's some quick message I want to post
Yeah.
online or it's actually an intentional video that we've scripted out and thought of. Like either way, I don't nail it in one take. Like sometimes it takes me 6, 7 tries. Sometimes I get it in the first take. I get lucky, but like a lot of times it takes more tries, and that's okay. I think that's a big misnomer. You see the finished product for so many creators, but you don't see what
Right.
went into that. Now, I will say that it has gotten a lot easier with the reps. So, that whole consistency is the number one thing. Yeah, it's so true. But I think I just want people to understand. A lot of people will tell me, and I'm sure you felt this, Cole, or you've heard this. People will say they don't have time to create content.
I've
Right?
said it.
I've got
Yeah.
too many things on my plate. I don't have time. Right? Because you think of it as a time suck, like it's going to take a lot of your time. It doesn't pay you right away. I need to put out these fires. I need to get this business right now. But I will just tell you this, like the amount of time it takes to create videos doesn't just go down a little as you get good at this. It drops like a brick out of a window. So it's like, for me, sometimes the content is literally walking from my car door to the front door of the office. And I had an idea that I thought of on the drive in, and I was like, you know what? Or I just got off the phone call with the client. I'm like, let me share that thought. Or maybe I get off this podcast and I got to go run to my next appointment. And the lighting's good outside today, and I just quickly film something on the phone. Sometimes in the studio with the nice camera, but sometimes just quickly to the phone. And I could always redo it better later, but like that's
Sure.
content, right? It didn't take that much time. So if you can integrate it in your life, it doesn't really take that much time, and you get good at it, and you can nail it on your third take or your second take or sometimes the first take. And it's like, okay, that wasn't that big of a lift for me. I can integrate this in what I'm doing already. I'm on this call right now with you right now. This is being recorded. This is content. Like your calls with clients. What if you are doing Zoom calls meetings and you're educating people and you tell people these tips? What if you had just a vertical phone on a tripod next to your screen on
It's
you
like
at
on
an
your
angle so you
desk or
can't-
something, just sitting there.
yeah, and then you just have a little wireless mic on, so it's getting the clean audio. Or you connect it to your USB mic, whatever. Now you've created something. So it's like, and then that can be chopped. You can drop it into Opus, and we'll get into tactics soon. I know, but like you can drop that long. I've done this so many times, bro, where I just drop that video into Opus.pro, and all of a sudden, it's found 2 fire clips from that conversation, and it's already edited for you, and it's done. So there's ways to save time. And then the second thing I'll say to that person who says, I don't have time to make videos is like, at some point, we need to be working on something that would help the future you, right? You've got stuff you're doing every day that helps you today, pays your bills, doesn't. And I know like technically we're like building money for the future and wealth and all that stuff. I get it. And maybe that's your strategy, make a lot of money, invest it, and then you can retire. That's cool. But like, what about the Cole 5 years from now? I bet you the Cole 5 years from now is going to be like, dude, I'm so glad you started that podcast and you stuck with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at the guy who's super nervous. My voice was even like shaky, bro. I was like very nervous, not confident on camera, super nerdy, introvert. And I'm looking at that guy from 2019, 6 years ago, and being like, look, Neel, bro, I
Yeah.
want to thank you for not for taking the shot, and then
We're
also
pushing
not
through.
yeah, just getting
Yeah.
past the awkwardness and getting past
Yeah.
the uncomfortable and not caring about if everyone's going to shoot you down or or laugh at you, whatever it is that we worry about, which honestly doesn't ever happen. And so yeah, it's just like, dude, what are you doing that would help the future you? And if you're not doing anything on a daily basis that would help the future you, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Next year we're going to be doing the same shit. Next year we're going to do the same thing. I wrote something down on my computer in 2019 that says, hey, I'm not going to spend another year doing the same thing.
And you haven't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Like, okay, every year gets a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I'm excited to meet the 5 years from now Cole, because the Cole right now is kicking the Cole from 5 years ago for waiting this
Yeah.
long to start this damn podcast. Right. So
Well, it's
very
also
true.
like, I was just writing this down. Like, I want to make a note to come back to that point because it's like, it's really important. We all give ourselves shit for not doing it before. Like, you're like, man, if only I'm like, in my mid 40s now, I should have started in my mid 30s. And the guy in the
Right.
mid 30s is saying he should have started in his mid 20s. And the guy who's in my group who's 50, he's like, I should have started, so I guess everybody could say that. But at a certain point, my buddy Jeff Ladoni, he's in our mastermind group. He told me this. He's like, yeah, I like the ruler test. And he pulls out a ruler, like not a ruler, but a measuring tape. And he's like, look,
Okay.
it's average life expectancy for a person in our country, or average adult male, is 78, right? Plus or minus a few years, depending on how you take care of yourself. Cool. And the last part of that maybe is not so great. Okay. So how much time do I have? He's like 50 in his 50s. Okay. I don't really have that much time left. Like, it's time. So at some point, let's forget about the past. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We could do that all day. But like, what are we going to do this
Yeah.
year? What are we doing right now? And hopefully somebody listening or watching this podcast can be like, look, man, I'm going to take one of those ideas. And I'm going to try it, and I'm not going to quit.
Yeah. That's a good analogy for sure. And along that, so it's usually, I've found, even in my own experience, it's like one or two things. It's either time, or it's, imagine an agent, a real estate agent, who can negotiate a contract like in their sleep, but they're panic stricken at the thought of hitting that little record button on their phone, right? And they're their little lies to themselves is, I hate the way I look on camera, or I hate the way that I sound. So what have you found? What's like a very first mindset shift that you could hand someone so they can hit record, today instead of someday?
Well, first of all, you come from a place of service. So it's about the other people. It's not about you. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm married, have kids. It's not a dating app for me. Like, I know some people, like, they're very obsessed with the way they look and sound. I get it. Like, nobody wants
Yeah.
to look bad. I get it. But at the same time, it's not about that. So yes, so I want to make sure my lighting's decent as possible. I want to have a good audio, just simple things, because I believe if you look better, you're more likely to post it. Like, if you feel like it looks like crap, you're probably not going to. So first and foremost, it's just some basic things you could do to make your video look better, which is wipe your camera lens. Like, if you don't have a proper lighting thing in the office, these office lights that are above us, for the most part, are not good. They're harsh light. Like right
Yeah.
now, your lighting looks good. I believe it looks like there's a big window in your room right now. Is that true?
There is a window with some shade, but I do have some lights that you've
Oh,
actually
you have lights
suggested
too. So
for
yeah, it looks, but that's great.
Yeah.
It looks natural. So your setup looks natural. There's some natural light, and you have a softbox light or some sort of light that's meant to mimic natural light. So do I.
Yeah.
So it looks really good. But if you turn on your video and it looks like crap, just go outside or buy one of these proper softbox lights. Don't get those ring lights. The ring lights are really harsh too. So, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's better if you get the soft light. It's going to make your face and everything just feel like, some days, bro, I haven't slept well. And like, I got big bags under my eyes. You turn that light on, it wipes the look right off your face. Like, you're good to go. So that's
Yeah.
helpful. And the reason I say that is because then you're more likely to like not hate the way you look and sound. Cause I think that's the first roadblock. Just get over that shit. Next, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm past that. What do I say? And I've so
Right.
many times where we know we have all these ideas, but it's all mixed and mashed. And we're like, what do I say? And I ramble on too much sometimes. And how do I format this for social? So what you have to realize on social media, it's not the person with the best information. It's not the person with the most information. It's not even the best person for the job that wins. It's the best packager, the person who can package their content in a way that pleases people on the other side. So we might have the same idea, Cole and I, but I might say it 2 words different, or I might start it a little bit different. That means I might get exponentially more people to watch the video. So one of the reasons I love digital marketing and content marketing is like, look, we could make one tweak and it could triple, quadruple, 10x the reach of that piece of content. That means we've impacted that many more people. That means that's that many more people that could potentially do business with us, at the bottom of the funnel. So it's like, that's crazy. Like, you can't really change. I mean, I guess you can change your cold calls and your client calls, but you can only do so many calls, like
Right.
this is exponential. You literally can reach unlimited amount of people. So once you get around the opportunity, I think all the excuses start to fall away because now you're getting some success. I think people don't get sick of doing content or burnt out. They're sick of not getting results. Like if you get
Yeah.
results, you're
True.
like, dang, bro, this is actually great.
Some
I love it.
affirmations, right?
Yeah, you're like, bro,
Yeah.
I got the confirmation. This person messaged me, or I got this relationship for my content. I'm going to do more of it. And you stop caring about the little things. So what do we say? Well, let's talk about the benefit first. This is the biggest problem I see with people in our industry's content. They talk about the product or the thing instead of the benefit of the thing. So let me give you an example. Somebody wanted to talk about HELOCs today, and it was a guy in our group, and he's like posted the video, and I was like, man, let me give you some feedback on this. So he talked about, hey, I have a HELOC program that can close and get you cash within 1 week. It's a fast close HELOC. And I'm like, okay, there are a lot of consumers who don't even understand HELOC. Also, do you think that the biggest roadblock for someone who wants to get equity is how quick they can get it? Maybe, but like they may not even know how you could use the equity or what's the benefit. So the goal here would be like, let them know the benefit of this. So the benefit of getting a HELOC is what? Your debt has been paid off. You have lower monthly outflow, right? Or you were able to make the improvements to your home with the, you were able to access cash to pay for a large expense like that.
You're able to invest in that business or whatever it is,
exactly. Right? Or buy your first rental or buy your next primary home and keep your house as a rental, right? These are all the benefits of having a HELOC. So we want to pick some of those benefits and make the content about that. People care about the outcome. They don't care about the thing.
So you're leading with the benefit.
Yeah, it's a classic example. Like Maui is what we call this. If you were selling a trip to Maui, would you sell the seat on Southwest? Would you take a picture of the seat on Southwest and the peanuts and say, hey, come to Maui, and it's got this plane? No, you would sell the beach, bro. You would sell the sunshine, the freaking Mai Tai, or the, whatever you're going to sell. Like, that's what you would sell. So let's do that in HELOCs. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, I would say, man, so I just helped a client. My client over the last 3 years, or John, my friend, had accumulated quite a bit of credit card debt. And the crazy thing about credit card debt now is the rates have gone up on credit cards and the payments have just exploded, honestly. So he's got a lot of extra monthly payments now. Well, the other cool part that's totally different is his home value also went up a lot over the last few years. And so what we did was we used a product called HELOC and took out some of that money from his house and paid off all the debt. Now he has a smaller payment on the HELOC, but he's saving $860 every month. That money he could use to pay
credit card payments.
Yeah, he could pay off his, he wiped out his payments. So now he can use that money to invest in something else or just free up his cash flow every month. It's just like his life has changed because of this program. So if you're someone who is thinking about how you could pay off all this debt and you own a home, you should message me on this. Crazy part is you can get the money in as little as 6 days. And then that would be like how the speed kind of comes in at the end. That would be a video that maybe somebody's watching on a Sunday or a Tuesday and is like, you know what, dude, I'm in the same boat. Yeah. Right. People need to
that resonates.
See the example. Yeah. So it's like, you need to see that someone just like you did the thing. It becomes real. So I would encourage people to start talking about specifics, not generics. Like,
so the message or the end result from what you just laid out versus what your whatever student or whoever laid out is the exact same. You just put a little bit of a different spin, messaged it, packaged it differently. And it's like you're hitting people where their pain is. Like they can feel, they know what you're talking about.
Somebody might say, and somebody might say, hey, well, I don't have any debt. I want to pull the money out to put a pool in. That's another use case. Well, that's another video then. So, you know, did you guys know that if you're trying to do this thing, you can pull it? So check this out. Somebody just pulled out $50K or $100K from their home, paid up, and was able to put this pool in. Man, they're having the best summer ever this year because they've been wanting a pool for the last 3 years and didn't know how to do it. Now they got it, and the payment is relatively affordable. So if you have an upcoming large expense, you've been thinking about making improvements in your home, reach out because you can get the money in as little as 7 days. Cool. So it's kind of like a salesy thing at the end because you're making a call to action, but some of it could just be informational, but some of it could be like this. And then let me give you a real example of how home equity lines work. This client has, let's just say you have a $500,000 home and you owe $373,000 of the mortgage. Here's how much equity, and then you could walk them through these numbers. So all of this is like real math, real examples. You could use a hypothetical scenario, but you're actually showing the numbers. Like it's connecting with the audience. People are visual learners. They like to learn things like this. And so that video will do way better than the guy who's like, here's HELOCs 101.
I get you fast cash.
Yeah. Or he's going to just say, let me explain how home equity line works. Home equity HELOC stands for home equity line credit. And then he goes into the thing again. Nobody cares about the thing.
You're already lost. You lost me, right? When you started explaining that.
It is better than no video. I will say, like, there's a lot of people who don't make any content. Cool. I'm like, if you're going to start off by just giving your product of the day, that's okay. It's better than nothing, but you're losing most people. So that's why I say talk about the benefits. So that's something simple everybody could do. That was one example, HELOC, but like, what are the other programs you have? Government loans, freaking,
But you know what you just did is you took his one thing. He's talking about the product, which is you're saying that's not the best approach. So he took one idea, the only idea about that product, right? And you spun it, and you can now have 4, 5, 6 different videos from that one product because you're doing
Correct.
different
Not only that,
storytelling.
Cole, I will tell you this. The guy who gets more specific is going to win. I know somebody in the business who created an account just to talk about 203K loans, like rehab loans. How
Okay.
you could buy homes that need a lot of work and get financing that would help you improve the homes. Like, or talk about a real estate fix and flip strategy, or talk about buying luxury homes, whatever it is your thing is, you could make an account like that. So I think there's the lesson in this is, yes, sometimes like we are a jack of all trades. I know we need to take business here, there, everywhere, VA loans, this loan, that loan, or if you're on the real estate
Sure.
side, there's all the different things that you want to help people with. You don't want to put yourself in a corner, but for your content, you could stand for one thing. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't get all the other business, but because you have one focus, you'll get more than just the one focus.
Yeah.
And so I would encourage people, like, let's say you did this example. I would love to do like a use case of this, and it would win. And people would be shocked, but like it would win. You could start an account dedicated to home equity. Like, and your tagline would be like, Cole Holmes, I help you unlock the equity in your home with the lowest costs and the highest and the fastest time, or whatever. Like, we can come up with that. Now, not only is there 6 videos, there's 60 videos on HELOC, and sometimes it's the same thing just said differently.
Yeah.
Biggest
What's
mistakes
funny
people use with
is,
equity.
so I just thought of this. If you spell my name Cole with my last initial H, throw that backwards, you
HELOC,
got
bro.
HELOC.
There you go. Look at this. So we're
That's
coming up with the
hilarious.
example right now, but they could be something
funny.
else for you. Like, there was a gal in my group, Cole, and she's like, hey, she's a real estate agent, not even mortgage side. And she goes, you know what? I'm a divorce certified specialist. I help people navigate this process during divorce. I'm like, well, why don't you niche down on that? Because she didn't know what to talk about on social. She's like trying to talk about everything and it's not landing. I'm like, yes, I know you help other people besides that, but what if your content was just around that? You'll get people besides that. They'll ask you, hey, do you do VA loans too? I'm like, yeah, I'll help you with that too. But they'll think of you because of the one thing. So you could say, I help people navigate the process of splitting up real estate assets during the divorce with the least amount of pain and hassle possible, or something like that. And it's like,
Absolutely.
okay. And then you could make endless videos, not just about what happens during your home during your divorce, but also like splitting up assets. You can also put up like information on maybe counseling that they could do beforehand to deal with these issues, case studies. Like, there's just so much content. And so I think people need to realize content is not coming up with 1,000 things. Content is coming up with like a few ideas and then said 1,000 different ways. I've been saying the same thing pretty much on social media for 6 years. I never run out of ideas. You could do the same idea over again. People didn't see it. You could do a new version of it. You could do a tweak on this. You could have a podcast and the clip where you said it differently on the podcast or the interview. Like, so many different ways you can talk about the same thing.
Or just copy other people. I think you've used the term DJing before, like DJ that guy or whatever. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you so maybe a year or so ago, I remember one of your posts was I think it was you and your wife. And it was like, you made it in like a tweet style, but it was like, one of the best life hacks is a wife who supports you, or something like that. It was something like that. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So I did exactly what you did, except obviously with my wife, not yours. That'd be kind of weird. But I had my beautiful bride with me. And because she was in the freaking picture, that got the most views I'd ever gotten to that date, from that post. But I mean, I could literally copy every single thing you do, and it would be in Cole style. It would be different, and it would, grab more eyeballs. And so I think that's
if that
also
resonates with you. Like, you can say it in your way. You could use it. You can quote somebody. I've quoted other people, and even that works. Like, I can quote Grant Cardone, like, if people know you, they will flow you. I could put that in quotes on a graphic and post that as a video or an image post on Instagram for content creators right now. Or I could talk about this or that. Like, there's so many different ways to do it. And I think it's, once you start getting into that mode, it becomes a lot easier. You can get inspired by other people's content. You can get inspired by an idea. Like you said, you saw that thing and it resonated with you, and then you made your own version of it. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I mean, you don't want to say something that you wouldn't resonate with just for views, but if you agree with it and you want to do it, like, that's perfect. That's light up your alley. I think that's where I think people need to spend their time on social media, not just consuming, but researching.
Absolutely.
When I'm
like
scrolling,
free
it's not
education.
it's not just time. I'm not just doom scrolling. I'm like, hey, I might learn something today, and I might get an idea or inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you said about like niche, getting specific, whether it's HELOC or divorce and real estate or whatever. So that resonates big time. So I had the pleasure of interviewing Christina Smallhorn. I don't know if you know who she is, but she freaking kills it on YouTube. She's a real estate agent. And I remember one of
Okay.
the things that she said was, if you're creating content for everybody, then you're creating content for nobody, right?
That's true.
If you're trying to be everything to everybody, and she said the almost the exact same thing that you did. If you get specific, you're still going to get the other people. You're going to get the other people who aren't going through a divorce, but you're going to become this expert, and people are going to focus on you and see that you know your stuff, and you're going to get everybody else. I think you shared a story about your sister, right? About how she niched down on something, and then
Yeah.
you looked at like a
She like,
what was that?
so she had, yeah, she would niche down on like girl power. She's like futures female. She wants to do like help women, single women or regular women, doesn't
That's right.
matter, like get into home ownership and level up with investing and real estate. And so that was her theme. But 60, 70% of her clients are men. You know, why?
That's hilarious.
Because
Yeah,
they just remember her for that, you know, like, hey, oh, Shivani, she's the future female gal. Like, okay, cool. It stands out, right? So you need something. Otherwise, like you said, you get nothing.
yeah,
And it could be that you're a mortgage generalist or real estate generalist, but then there's something different about you. Like maybe you're the guy who also likes XYZ and he does his real estate this way. Like I know guys who have like something different about themselves, and then that becomes the difference maker. So that could be it too. But you need to find a point of differentiation to stand out. Otherwise, if you're saying the exact same thing that everybody else says and you're saying it in the exact same way, and you're trying to appeal to everyone, it's just noise. It's not going to come
yeah.
through.
It's not going to
So
be
for people,
genuine. It's not
first of
going to
all,
come
like
across as that.
yeah, we're trying to get people to do content first of all, but then second, I don't want you to fail and then quit. So if you don't want to fail, like what is your focus going to be? And if you start
Mm.
focusing in on that, then you're doing it with intention, you'll actually get results.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say that an agent or someone listening right now, they get motivated and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and they get their phone out, they get it set up, they record their first video, and then they instantly go to delete it because they think it sucks. What would you say in that moment to maybe stop the spiral and get them to post
Well, I think don't
anyway?
delete it. Don't post. You don't want to post. That's fine. You can just keep it on your phone because it's good to see your progress. But I think what you should do is take a challenge. Okay. And I've done this
Okay.
with people over many times. Let's do a 10-day challenge. And we could do it for 10 days. You could do a 30-day if you want, but 10 days I found is a sweet spot. 10 days, you're going to shoot a piece of content. It's going to be something simple, a problem you solved for a client, a solution, a product you want to highlight, uh, you know, just a question that you're commonly getting from clients, something that's in the news right now that you want to break down for people, common search items, something like that. So you come up with your ideas, and then for 10 days, so you would spend an hour ideation. You would take out a Google Doc or a Notes doc and just start listing all the ideas. Then when you go to shoot, you refer back to your documents. You're not like thinking of what to shoot in the moment. Because if you're trying to think of what to shoot at the same time you're shooting it, inspiration's not there. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got
Yeah.
nothing to say. I'm not feeling it right now. So have your ideas ready to go. And then you just every day shoot that video. Now you do not need to post it. Just get it shot and again the motion of doing it. And just keep it on the phone, look it back, and you might be like, first couple of days, dude, that's cringe. I would never share that. I suck. That was bad. We're our own worst critic. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
along the way, what you'll find is by day 7, 8, 9, 10 or something, happens different for everybody. You're like, you know what? That's actually not that bad. You know, like I could do this. And maybe you end up posting that video. So I've had people in the group who are crushing it now. There's
Yeah.
this agent, Darius. He's a friend of mine, and he started with me years ago. And he's like one of the top agents in his market, crushes it in business and online. And he started off by this manner. He did the 10-day challenge. He started off doing the videos. And then when he got more comfortable, he started posting them. And he said, okay, I became it. So you kind of like, I would love to tell people to jump in the deep end, but I know that doesn't work for people. They quit. So let's just kind of go in the shallow end. Let's go in the
Yeah.
shallow water and just less risky.
So you're saying for 10 days, 15 days, whatever, just make it a habit to record something every day. You don't necessarily have to post it, just record it, have it on your phone, and kind of get in that habit. Are
Yeah,
you
you'll start to get
encouraging
better
them
at
to
it.
go back and look at those? And
Yeah, like you'll look at day 10 versus day 1. It's going to be better.
okay. Okay.
If you're like, you know what, I didn't like the way I talk like this. And some of it is just going to happen on its own. It's like my son's trying to be better at skateboarding right now. The more he skates, the better he is. Like that's just a basic
It's all
thing. But
about
then the other
reps.
part is like
Yeah.
he records himself and he's trying to watch where he had his foot on the board. Like that's going to be the intentional part of looking at the
Okay.
videos and be like, you know what, I seem to fill these videos with ums and ahs a lot. So next time I do an and ah, I'm going to pause or I'm going to cut it out of the video. Or you know what, like I feel like my pacing is too slow. You know, that's a big thing with people. Like they don't have a proper pace for what they're saying. So they're not saying it with intention. Doesn't mean you have to not be yourself, but like you want to say it with intention. So that's simple hack. You'll get past that 10 days. You'll probably end up feeling pretty good at the end. The other hack I love giving people is to do an interview just like this. So, and it could be a fake podcast interview or a fake interview just for the purpose of getting content out. So if you want to go in with one of your business partners, a colleague at the office, and you guys just talk about things and have them interview you and ask questions, your answers to the questions are going to be content. A lot of times people don't like to film straight to the camera, but if a camera just happened to be on you or your phone was on you vertically, you had a mic on, and Cole asked me a few questions and I recorded the answers, those videos might be content. They could be chopped up.
So I'll share something funny with you. If you go back and look at some of my earlier posts, my videos, I'm doing that exact. So I'm looking off to the side, and I'm actually by myself in my office. But and I'll go like, no, I get that a lot. So my thought on that. So I'm like, just the whole thing is I'm just acting it.
You did, but I felt more comfortable. The fake podcast, fake interview, because you're not looking at the lens. You're talking to somebody else, and it kind of comes across more natural. So yeah, that's the hack of capturing conversation. Capture conversation instead of trying to create content. If you can just capture conversation, you can win with the content. And now what you want to do is, like I have noticed, definitely as you get better, some people, those videos outperform when they talk to the camera. For me, it definitely performs better if I look at the lens and talk to the camera. So everyone's going to be a little different, but you have to test that to know.
Yeah. In the beginning, I just felt, for me personally, I just felt more comfortable because I wasn't sitting there. It wasn't like, just like freeze. What do I do with my hands?
I remember seeing the red light on the thing and then freezing up, like, oh shit,
So let's say an agent follows the things that you've already talked about, like to a T, right? But they've got 30 minutes a week right now. What would you say that, like, what's the highest maybe ROI routine that they should stick with?
Yeah, to block the time beforehand for ideas, create the content first, the ideas for the content, and then on the 30-minute sessions, you can bang up several videos, several responses, let people know about anything that happened. Like I always scan news headlines, make sure I'm being the one who keeps my audience informed of like what's going on, how it affects you guys in the market. If there was any big news this week that relates to mortgage, real estate, whatever it is your thing is. And so you can kind of keep those lists of ideas or inspirational ideas from like you watching other people's videos. And I would just say, make it easy to execute. If you watch a video and like, man, I really like that video, and it's like got all these fancy cuts and edits and stuff, you're probably not gonna be able to pull that off right away. So like that's good for future you, but now like make it reasonable in terms of what you can actually do realistically. And then during those 30-minute sessions, just batch create. I would say it's probably more efficient if you've got a list of ideas to just block off 2 hours and get it done, because it's in 30 minutes. Sometimes it might take you 10, 15 minutes just to warm up. And then you got it. Like a lot of times you're coming off of task work. You're showing houses, or you're doing this work, you're doing this, a call or this thing. And then it takes when you task switch, it takes your brain a minute to like get into new creative mode. It's a totally different mode. So I would rather bundle all those 30 minutes into an afternoon and then take that Friday afternoon to make videos. And now you can like turn your brain off of the task and get into like content creation mode. You'll find that the content's much better then. And for me, sometimes I warm up. Like it takes me like 20, 30 minutes just to get going.
To get that.
But yeah, if you had to do it daily, it could just be a daily challenge. Like during that 30 minutes, you come up with an idea and shoot it, or you already have your list of ideas and you shoot a few of them during that 30 minutes. That can work too.
Okay. Something you shared on one of your last calls, and for friends listening right now, what I mean by last call is I'm not just a fan of Neel, I'm also a student. So I've been in his Forward Academy, which is absolutely game-changing for, I think, 2 years, 2.5, something like that. Been absolutely amazing. Awesome, but one of the things that you mentioned was, I remember you saying, I wrote it down in my notes here, it was like backing the truck up. Find out what the goal behind the goal is, behind that goal, and then kind of start from there. Can you unpack that for our friends listening? Because I thought that was great advice on that.
Yeah, this is really important. So you got to think of what's the goal. You want a client. Okay, what's the goal before a client? They need to have a conversation with you. What's the goal? Like, what's the step before having a conversation with you? They need to book one and they have to be interested in doing that. Well, what's the step before that? Well, they have to be aware of you and like want to work with you, maybe be referred to you or find you. So like, let's move back to those steps and then start there. I think everyone starts with, I want a client. So I'm going to go on the internet and ask for a client. Well, that may not be the best way to introduce yourself. Yeah. So how would I introduce myself or provide value to somebody if, that was earlier on in that phase or not quite ready to book yet? Well, you could give them something of value, you could educate them, you could build a relationship virtually using content. So like, I just think about that first. So first and foremost, I want to get better video. Then next, a lot, like, I don't know, anybody's ever found this out, but you can't deposit your views and likes at the bank. I tried at Bank
No.
of America. They laugh at you.
Yeah.
So we need more conversation. We need more deals. So then now you need, like, okay, what's the next step to work with me? And I found that most people in our industry do not have a clear next step to work with you. It's probably
That's a
the
good
biggest
point.
problem this biggest problem in our industry is, like, people just, like, you have your content out and then, like, what's the next step? Well, there's a link to book a call that nobody ever books. Like,
Yeah.
you need to actually have a clear next step that's easy for someone to do, and it's on demand, and they could do it on their own time whenever they want. So those are easy things like a lead magnet, maybe a session they can join, pre-recorded video where they go deeper. I know somebody who makes a kind of like a 30-minute video on YouTube or 20-minute video where it goes through some important factors that the buyers need to know, and they just funnel all their people to that, and that becomes like its own asset, where that video is a video sales letter, but it's on video. Like, and it's just living for, like, it's just working for you while you're sleeping. So somebody watches
So
short
help me
form.
understand that when you say the next step. So I've done this video and I've talked about whatever. I'm a real estate agent and I've got this video that I just did. Like, what would be a clear next step that I should have?
So I would like to give somebody a resource. So maybe you have, my guide on finding the best deal in today's market, something more specific. Like a general buyer's guide is not very attractive. It's better than nothing, but it's too generic right now. So I think something specific, like getting the best deal in 2025. If you want to be even local in your market in 2025, that could be it. 7 ways to get below market interest rates. 6 of the most costly mistakes buyers make. First time buyer
This is something you would tease in your video for the viewer to want, and then they want it, so they DM you or they comment, whatever.
Yeah, and then there's a link in your bio that says get this guide, right? So these are resources where someone enters into your world now to go deeper with you. And in those resources, you can have the book the call and all the things.
Yeah.
So if I go on the internet and I say, hey, if you're interested in this, book a call, very few people do it, if any. But if I go on the internet and I say, hey, here's some information, here's a free resource for you, take it whenever you want, take it or leave it. It's no obligation. It's not about working with me. It's just, I want you to have the information. Is the vibe. That's the vibe of the video. They take the information and now they think it'll be different. In that information, there's a link to work with us on the next step, book a call, whatever. And we can follow up now because they've given us their information in exchange for that. The main thing is the thing that you give out needs to be actually somewhat valuable, like good. Yeah. And I think that's where people mess up. They're like, oh yeah, my brokerage gave me this free guide, I'm just going to give that out. Well, that thing is just boilerplate, generic. It's just meant to check a box, but I would make something a little bit better, and you can use AI tools to help you with that.
So like we'll use the divorce specialist that you talked about. She might she might make a video on ulti-lean versus cash out refinance. What's the difference? Blah, blah, blah. And then she might say,
she could be like, 7 costliest mistakes couples make during a divorce.
Yeah. Okay. So she would tease that kind of towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to make those mistakes. So I might just want to watch this in that video or in that guide midway through or and again at the end. It says, by the way, if you are someone who's going through this, I want you to know that there is a better way of doing this. And I'm here to help. I've helped thousands of people, or I've helped hundreds of people with this exact process, and have over 700, blah, 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 5-star, whatever your kind of salesy pitch is. And it's like, and I would love to connect with you. If you want to book a call with me and my team, there's a link here. It's 15 minutes. We'll go through your strategy. We'll give you a custom game plan. Or it could be like really quick. The people I found who had the most success in this market have a game plan. They have a strategy, a custom plan, not a general one, but a custom one. And the only way to do that is to have a quick conversation with someone who's qualified. I happen to be that person. So I would love to do that call with you whenever you're ready. This will save you time, whether you're thinking about buying it next year or the next month. This is an important call that will save you time and money. And so if you'd like to grab one of those spots, click the link here. So I'm just riffing off the top of my head, but you can do your pitch now. They've given you the permission. So the whole point of this call is to switch from interruption marketing to permission marketing. If I just come on and tell you to book a call with me, I'm just interrupting you to try and sell you on me. But if I give you something and then now you're like, yeah, actually, Neel, I would be interested in watching that video. Neel, I would like your guide. I would like to follow you. I would like to get more into your thing. Now I have the permission to sell and market to you. And your guard is a little bit lower, if not, depending on how long you've been following the person, your guard may be all the way down now. Yeah. And then, I send you a thing of like, hey, would you like to book a call? Or this week I'm doing a webinar and I'm going to go over this information with 10 people. would you like to join us? You'd be like, yeah, you know what, I would, so it just makes the rest of the job easier. And it's a step that everybody in our industry ignores.
Mission. I mean, so no, you just like gift wrapped so many different little nuggets and strategies, especially that last one. I mean, that's just, I mean, go back and friends, listen to that one little segment over and over, and you've got a blueprint right there. I mean, you're gonna be able to turn
I know people that built their whole business on that, by the way. They have a short form to a long form strategy, and then the long form has the ad in it. And then they just run traffic. And then if you're not getting enough organic traffic, you can run paid traffic to this, and it works. And it's like,
love it.
Now it's a machine. And the best part about all this, before we wrap up, Cole, is like, look, I said earlier, at some point you have to be doing something that would benefit the future you. I don't know about you. I could tell maybe your hair is more gray than mine. Okay, I'm getting to
I have 4 kids, so I think I have more than you. That's why.
Yeah, you got more kids. I got bags under my eyes. I'm not getting any younger is the point here, right? If you go back to that ruler test, like, we're not getting any younger. At some point, we need to do something different, right? And maybe that time for somebody is right now. Like, when are we going to start doing these new things? When are you going to start changing and trying new things and innovating? And the best way to do that is to duplicate yourself. That's what I found is like, hey, that's working smarter, not harder. I don't know about you, but I don't want to just grind harder. You know what I mean? No. Like, I want to have more time with my family. I want to enjoy my life. We only have limited time here. Like, let's enjoy it. And so that involves, like, what are the ways we could be more efficient with the time we do have? Well, I can think of nothing more efficient than like me sleeping and somebody booking calls with me. Like, that's the best. Like, the best use of
just going.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Like, I would bet any amount of money on this. While I'm on this podcast too, somebody is watching one of my videos and possibly entering into like a funnel. Right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Now they're entering my world. They're either hitting the follow button, so they're going to see more videos, or even if they don't hit the follow button, the algorithm's going to show them my next video because they watched one video.
Yeah,
or they're actually downloading something and giving us their contact information. So, like, that's working smarter.
Yeah, love it. So before we hit stop, I'm gonna flip the mic and give it to you. What's maybe a burning question that you want to ask me, or maybe someone listening that could take this video conversation that we're doing right now maybe to the next level?
Yeah. So for you and anybody listening, what do you think is your biggest roadblock to creating more content? What gets you stuck?
That's a good question. Yeah. If you're asking me, for me, I think it would just be a system. And what I mean by that is I've got ideas. I've got the ideas in my phone in a folder, and I've got this and that. But, I mean, as a mortgage guy, very similar to a real estate guy or gal, it's not like we have this set schedule every day, 9 to 5. Right. I mean, there's so many fires and things going on that could kind of throw things haywire. So yeah, for me, it's closing loans, serving my clients, running a branch, managing my team, and also trying to fit this in there. That'll probably be that's what I'm telling myself is my biggest hurdle.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I think we've got some stuff that would address it on this show, but then also some of it's just deciding like, hey, this is an opportunity. And so I think, this is what I would leave people with is like, and by the way, we have a group where we give ideas. Like Cole mentioned it earlier. You can find us on you can put the link when you publish it, Cole, but it's school.com with SKOOL.com/forward, the word forward.
I'll include that in the description below. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's this, like, you can join our group. We have calls with me and their crew every other week. And it's awesome. There's a lot of other creators. So it's just like putting yourself in the room with people that are doing the thing you want to do that's a vital part of this. Because if you see other people doing it and you're around it, you're more likely to do it.
Absolutely.
Right? And so that's a power of being in the community. And then I would just tell you, like, the last thing was like on the effort, and you maybe thinking, okay, well, I don't know if I have the time and I need a system and all this. I think people just need to decide, like, what is your biggest opportunity going forward? Like, what is your level 10 opportunity? And we talked about on this call, maybe it is for you building a system that sells for you while you're sleeping, while you're doing other things. Maybe it's automating some part of your business. What does the level 10 opportunity for you look like? And then let's look at what level of effort you're giving that opportunity. And I think like most people are giving it a 2 or 3. It's a level 10 opportunity. They're giving it a 2 or 3 effort. Like, okay, well, that's probably why it's not working.
Yeah.
That's probably why it's like going to take forever to do and get the result. But if you ever look at past in your history, like, hey, anytime you gave a level 10 opportunity, level 10 effort, you got it. I think you just told me you're married and have 4 kids. I'm pretty sure when you wanted to marry your wife, you didn't give it level 2 effort. You probably went all in, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but like think about those examples, business, personal, whatever. when we go after things we want, we get it. And everybody who's listening or watching has had some level of success. So just think about that. Like, are you really giving it that level of effort? And maybe 10 is unrealistic. Maybe it's going to be a 7, 8, or 9, but even that would crush the competition. You know what I mean? So I think first of all, it's just deciding, here's my opportunity. I have clarity on what I want to do next. And then once you have clarity, let's go. Let's give it the level of effort it deserves.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Neel, man, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for carving time out to collaborate with me and just drop some gold with our friends. I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah. See you, Cole.
All right, friends. Neel just gift wrapped a blueprint that can turn any phone shy agent like me into a content magnet. Huge thanks to Neel for laying it all out there. Now it's your move. Don't just listen to this episode and nod along and then turn it off and go about your day. I want you to pick one of Neel's strategies, just one, and put it into action this week. Film a hook or post a 30-second reel. Respond to a comment with a real conversation starter. And when you do, tag us. Tag me, tag Neel. Our tags are going to be down in the description. We want to see it. We want to cheer you on, and maybe we'll even share it. Because here's the truth. What separates top producers from the content scrollers is execution. You don't need perfect lighting. You don't need some kind of a viral plan. You just need to start. Let's turn fear into followers and content into closers.